It's Do It and Die.
Back again.
That's right. With just two young men today.
And it's the new and improved V2.0. We booted everyone off the show but Scotty.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, honestly, it was a takeover, but I just thought I'd bring him in for some goofs.
And that's why the background is so very different this episode.
Yeah, it's because we're actually in corn.
Corn is what you decided to go with.
Corn is what is on the background right now. Otherwise, I'd be very embarrassed.
Well, since you're definitely editing this, since you've taken over, you will be.
Okay,
You're
cool.
Responsible for putting corn back there.
All right, I've really given myself a task.
And for audio listeners, we have a green screen in the studio now.
Yeah.
So that's why there's corn.
Yeah. There might be other things. Who knows?
Well, only corn.
Okay. Just Only Corn.
Yeah.
Better not change right now.
Yeah. Just Only Corn is the name of my memoir.
Wow. That would be a good, I'd be like, who wrote this? And I'm like, huh?
Like, I wonder what his poops were like. Well,
can we talk a little bit about like, why is it that corn, like you chew it up, but it comes out whole?
I don't know why.
It's really interesting. Like,
I can verify, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, that would be an interesting song lyric.
Can verify, but don't know why. My corn cob sky so high.
It goes in
reading rainbow.
I have no idea where this song is going.
Sorry, guys. We're thinking about switching up the format a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of, we're not gonna try to pitch anything necessarily. We're just going to see what evolves naturally through conversations.
Yeah.
Discussions.
Worst comes to worst, this can be like just a filler episode that doesn't count towards the true episodes.
Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I should just say, and I've noticed that some, like, it's like they've got their main podcast and then they've got like just like filler things throughout their, like, they're just like, this isn't really the podcast, but we just wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between having a guest on and legitimately putting on like your best show face and getting that on, and a podcast where you're just like shooting the shit, talking.
Yeah. Shit shooting,
talking pants.
That's the name of this podcast.
Do you want some of this donut, Scotty?
Yes. So
we thought it would be fun to have you guys listen to us enjoy this donut.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of donut. We're gonna have a little bit of a taste. Ooh, let me go in for a little taste.
I wish you guys could know what it tastes like.
Wow, this is really... Oh, so I actually had an idea for like maybe like a show.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, we just lost all of our audio listeners.
If they left, so be it. All you.
So,
all me.
I never eat the end of anything ever, unless I'm the only person present. In which case, I just eat everything in its entirety, even if it's meant for more than one person. But I had this idea for a cooking show. Actually, we're about to just get back into the...
just go for it, man.
Classic.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, but I had this idea for a cooking show, and it's like, cooking show with Scotty. And they're like, it's like, so this, like, I go to a gourmet restaurant, and they're like, all right, Scotty, we've made you this. What do you think? And I, like, taste it, and I'm like, And then they're like, all right, what are your thoughts? I'm like, it's pretty good. And that's it. I'm like, and I just say that about everything. I'm like, oh, it's pretty good.
Oh my God. Sometimes it feels like that they do that with their jobs where it's like, we know you have the best job, or you just travel and eat food. Like, we know, like, give us something more than, wow, this is delectable.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can taste the cheese.
The thing they did. It's like, duh.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a movie and being like, yo, I saw the way they movied that.
Yeah. And you're like, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But yeah, that's my first pitch of the day. On the day we don't pitch.
Well, speaking of what you just said, That's my segue. Is I just say, speaking of whatever you just said, and then I move on to whatever I want to say.
Yeah. That's good.
Do you have any? What are your thoughts on whether or not ideas are bad enough to pitch or not?
I feel like this is something I told you to ask me about earlier.
It is. Go with it, you idiot.
I just got to break that third wall.
Transparent moment here.
Yeah, very transparent. So lately, I've found myself ranting about bad art and how much I love it. So it started with photography. I used to work at a photo lab. And I was surrounded by photographers who were always like trying to make these good shots and like all this stuff. And I was just like, I see good photography all the time. So I started taking really, really bad photos, like just really heinous, like dumb, like stupid photos. And like, I would be like, man, this is an awful, dumb, stupid photo, but I love it. Like, it's just so like one of the first ones I ever did was like, my friend it was in midair and he was swinging a traffic cone. It was like in the middle of the night. It was with a flash and he's swinging a traffic cone over his head as if he's about to like bash in my other friend with like a giant orange traffic cone we found. And then I was like, this is amazing. And that's what I devoted my Instagram to for like most of my Instagram career was just like really dumb, like almost insultingly bad. Like it's just like, because people post like stuff they care about, and I was just like, no, like idiots. I'm gonna post dumb idiot stuff,
nonsensical stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Or like it would be like super awful grain because I just took it in the middle of the night, like and it's just, or like it's like flash and it's just blowing my face out or something. But I just thought that was just, I don't know, I was into it.
To me, it seems like you have to have an understanding of the fundamentals in order to bend and break the rules. So if you're bending and breaking the rules so far that they can't even be conceived that you have understood the fundamentals, or it's like, well, I guess it would have to be, because it's like this is so different than anything that's been taken intentionally before.
Yeah,
that it is breaking those rules. So, but also when you say that you really liked it, well, it's like, well, then by nature it's not bad art because it was expressive and you liked it.
Yeah.
So like I challenge you to actually create something you hate.
I've created a lot of things I hate. It's just
how's your son doing, by the way?
Did I say I had a son on this podcast?
You said you hate a lot of things you create.
My cat, yes, I do hate him.
You created
and I created him. I was like in dealing with a little bit of alchemy, and I really goofed it. And next thing I know, it's not gold, but a cat's like in the bottom of my cauldron. I don't know where that went. I've been learning a lot about
cauldrons?
The occult.
Oh yeah. It's like, well, there's pewter and there's
there's some good cauldrons out there. But like you start on like one thing on Wikipedia and you're like, what's that? And you click on another. And then
now we're here.
You're just like learning about the occult, and you're like, where the fuck?
What's the coolest thing about the occult?
I don't really like the occult. It's actually like really scary stuff.
Is it like Facebook where it's like it's just called occult? It's not called the occult?
You know? I don't know.
We should ask the occult.
Yeah, they're like, hey, occult, new video idea. You just ask the occult, and they're like, actually, I'm just a cult. I thought it would...
A cult. I'm not the occult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen, speaking of good cult movies...
Oh, yes.
There's, have you seen The Endless?
No, I thought you were going to say Midsummer, but I have not seen...
I really want to see Midsummer. I missed it.
Well, you should have watched it when it came out.
I know I should have.
Midsummer.
I'm aware.
Endless. I have not seen
The Endless is dope.
The Endless.
Check out The Endless.
Okay. Where would I find it?
In my Blu-ray collection.
Okay, perfect. So this is a plug.
I think it was on Netflix at some point, but that's a good one.
No longer.
Yeah. I had a total brain fart. You were talking about occult stuff.
Oh, I was just learning about it, I think. I don't know. It's like you just... What?
Sorry. I thought of the thing I forgot.
Okay.
You said occult. It made me think of one of my new ideas, which was a fake infomercial.
Okay. Yes.
Video.
Uh-huh.
Where we sell exercise DVDs.
Uh-huh.
And it's EXORCISE DVDs.
Yeah.
And you just do 50 reps of whatever the
like Hail Mary.
Yeah, Hail Mary, and then to 3 lighting sage around your apartment or whatever it is.
You're just
and you do reps, and it's like an infomercial for how to exercise properly.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we noticed you guys were worried about fitness, which doesn't really make sense because demons don't really care.
Yeah, it's like, this is a new brand of exercise niche market that you guys aren't even tapping into.
Yeah. What if they're like really confused? Like it's just 2 priests and like they don't know, they didn't realize like exercise is like they're using the word wrong. Like
or we sell it like we green screen ourselves into The Exorcist.
Whoa.
And we're door-to-door exercise DVD salesmen.
Yeah.
So whatever the priest, I forget the actor who was the priest in that movie, but we just talk to him on, via green screen and try to convince him to sell these exercise DVDs.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. He's just like, guys, like, I don't know if it's going to work. And we're like, well, sick him. And we have like some like demon that works for us. It's like chasing him around.
Well, that's always weird where it's like, does demons, like if a demon worshiper has a demon on their side and he's doing them favors, then demons are good. Right? Like if the devil punishes bad people, then we're on the same side. Right? Because you're hurting the people that...
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like people who claim to be like devil worshippers, but like they're also like doing good. And I'm like, I don't think you're doing the devil's work when you're like, because there was this like thing, and it was like some like satanic church was they were like going around and they were guarding Muslims right after Trump got elected or something, and like people were like, oh, like devil worshippers are doing so good, and I was just like, I don't know if those guys are actually. I don't know what, like, I don't know if that's the devil's work. Like, I don't know.
That's I think the devil himself is contemplating this question.
He's just like,
what am I fucking doing with my life down here?
I don't know.
Yeah. He's like, wait, why am I fighting with that guy in the sky if he's the one, like, these people disobey him and I'm the one whipping them.
Yeah.
So we're on the same side.
Yeah, it's an interesting
just like
conundrum.
Smoking his devil pipe.
Yeah, it's like the things Satan ponders. Interesting.
I was also thinking, like, along exercise, you're always exercising evil spirits out of people.
Yeah.
How come we've never seen exercising the will of God out of a monk?
I think maybe that's what Satan's trying to do.
Because we should have an occult meeting where a video where we go to a monk and we're instead of like bringing the Bible and saying like the power of Christ compels you, we're like, the devil wrath upon thee.
I think that literally is the devil's work. I think that like those guys have been fucking up if they haven't been doing that.
Yeah, like kidnapping monks and trying to.
That's like I feel like that's at least a fear of people. Maybe I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, but like, how would you or exercise an angel out of somebody?
Well,
so
that's like literally that's kind of like sort of the origin story for Lucifer. He was an angel, and then he was like a dick,
fallen angel.
Yeah, and God was like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here." And according to what is it, the Divine Comedy, he just throws Satan so hard into earth that there's a giant mountain on the other end of earth because he throws him so hard into hell. Yeah, and so
it's
then
like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah, no, it's really insane. And then like,
let's film it.
Whoa. Yeah, just like but then like it's actually like a key plot point because he climbs that mountain, like when he goes into hell and then he gets out by just going so deep that he comes out the mountain on the other end from like where the earth was like moved, and that's how he gets into purgatory. I don't remember how he got into heaven after that. But
the earth is flat, so it wouldn't take that long to go through it.
Yeah, in theory. Whoa.
I mean, everything's in theory, isn't it?
What if there was like some sort of like, I don't know how to do it, but some video where it's like Minecraft and that's how the earth is flat. And so if you dig too deep, you just end up like
Yeah, falling through. Well, see, and then how does gravity work? Because if you can't fall through because the bottom end would gravity.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Well, maybe
it's almost like the world isn't flat, but I'm not going to entertain that idea.
Well, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we just lost the other half of our like subscriber base.
We lost half of 2, Scotty.
Yeah. The other guy left. He's like, yeah, I was fine with the donut thing, but the earth being round was too much.
we gotta draw some lines here in where we consume our media and who we give our fake attention to, because we don't give them money anyway.
Yeah,
so we're not giving them money, but we give them
money.
Attention.
You know, I think about it a lot. Like, I do a lot of art, and it's just because I want someone's attention, and it's like I just want to get your attention, and like I'm not making any money off of this. I'm in fact losing money on the materials, but I just want to like take your attention for a little bit.
What is it? What is it about that? Well, it's not that because for me, I don't necessarily want their attention. I just want them to have enjoyed giving their attention.
Interesting. So lately, I've been thinking a lot about, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but I'm just going to bring it up now. But I've been thinking a lot about the collective consciousness of different demographics as well as like the world as a whole. And like from what I understand, like the theory is like we're all part of this larger collective consciousness. And so like all of America has like this collective consciousness where it's like to be an American, it's like that's where it's a shared identity. But there's a whole lot of like there's a lot of disagreement, but there's also a lot of undercurrents that kind of like affect us all like as a group. Like it's kind of like if you've ever seen footage of people crossing a street, I saw this crazy thing and it was like top down, and they put like a line on each person as they crossed, and they were following streams kind of like a fish. And it's like, so there's all these different ideas about like people thinking as a group, but we're not aware of it. Similar to like you see a flock of birds flying around and you're like, how are they all moving as one?
Yeah, is that like electromagnetism, greater consciousness?
It's kind of just the idea of collective consciousness, and it's a lot of it is just like people following patterns, and like or like one thing is like it's like if there's something in the middle of the crosswalk, you have to walk around like a median or something. People will move around it, and like it's like a repeating thing that you can kind of see if you follow it and like trace it. But I've been thinking about that like in a greater scale where it's like just all of society. So lately I've been like trying to do things and like coming up with ideas for like different projects where I just put like out an idea for like someone to find, and maybe that'll just
into the world for someone to grab. Yeah. Because this comes on to one of the things I kind of believe was like as a person who plays music and a person who tries to generate new ideas, that when those ideas come, I don't necessarily think they're mine or that I own them. It's like I've tapped into the realm in which these ideas flow. Yeah. And I snagged a piece for myself. Yeah. But it's not mine. I'm just using it. Like that's how I feel about it.
That's interesting because like in philosophy they talk about or like some Greek. I took philosophy 101. Yeah, but like they talk about like a chair is like an impure form of the idea of chair, or like music is like the impure form of like the idea. Like listening to a piece of music, you're like, it's music, but like
it's not pure.
The
music.
Idea is pure, so it's like you're tapping into this pure creativity.
Yeah, it's like I just call it like a flow state. Like flow state. If you're in the flow state, all those ideas come to you. Like you're not. I don't think you manifest them, or if you do it, then how can you take credit for it when you don't even know how you manifest them?
That's another thing. They talk about the muse, like, and the muse is like what like flows through you to create that, and like I don't know if they actually believed it, but they personified it as like an actual person who was like guiding you,
or a band,
or got him. Yeah, but that's really interesting.
Yeah,
that's my philosophy 101 right
so
there.
Did you know that there were some of these tests I heard this on, I think, the Joe Rogan podcast, but
Yeah.
there's like these tests that people have done with mice testing this collective consciousness theory.
Yeah.
About how they could teach mice how to solve a maze.
Really?
And on the other side of the world,
yeah.
if they give the same maze, those mice could solve it faster because mice have solved it before. It's almost like the
Whoa.
idea that when we broke the 4-minute mile
Yeah.
as humans,
Yeah.
it was thought to not be possible.
Uh-huh.
And then now people can break a 4-minute mile and they're not even like, you don't even know their name.
Really? Wow,
And
that's
when
crazy.
that would have been the fastest feat of humankind a while ago.
That's really fascinating. Do they know like what leads to these mice like knowing?
I don't know if this is a different study, but they had one where they would spray this orange scent.
Mm-hmm.
So like it would smell like an orange,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would zap them on their feet.
Okay. And what does that do?
Like think of like, you know, those like shocker lighter
yeah,
gags so that you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that shocked me, but not like
that's
not like holding them,
that's
torturing
like
them.
super
but,
metaphysical.
But it's
with that.
but so they would zap them, and then their offspring,
yeah.
they would eject orange smell,
Yeah.
and those babies were like, what the
Really?
what is going on there? And they were like primed to expect a negative reaction from the orange smell. Like
What-
it was passed down genetically.
That's crazy. I wonder is it only because they're offspring, or does it also apply to like the mouse next door?
I don't
who
know.
doesn't
Yeah.
smell that because
Well, yeah, and that's one of my theories on like if everyone's afraid of, some people have irrational fears of like bugs or spiders or
Yeah.
snakes or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
don't fuck with snakes. Like snakes are a rational fear to have. Red on black, friend of Jack. Red on yellow, kill a fellow. If there's one thing you take from this podcast,
red,
know how to distinguish poisonous and non-poisonous coral snakes.
or if it's got a rattle,
Or just don't touch a fucking
just don't. It's probably not a good snake.
Ooh, the rattle ones are really good. If you shake the rattle, there's like a certain pattern you're supposed to like shake him in.
Wait, what does it do?
It like lulls the snake to sleep.
What?
Yeah, absolutely try it next time you find a rattlesnake. Scotty,
I
you
only
idiot,
found-
don't try that. Oh my
Boy, are
god.
my cheeks red.
Yeah. And it's not from the lights.
Oh,
We got new red lights in here.
yeah, it's very.
Well, they're not new.
Very nice.
But yeah, that's what I think about general inquired knowledge like that, where I think there's a like, if you have an irrational fear of spiders, maybe your grandmother was murdered by a giant spider.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I think about a lot? This has no basis on anything other than folklore, but almost everyone has birthmarks somewhere on them. And they say like your birthmark is like where you died in your last life.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it's just something people say, but like people tell me that sometimes, and I'm like, it's a weird thing to think
Wow.
about.
So I died on like the tip of my. Well, I probably shouldn't say. But
Tip of is something that he's not going to say.
where are your birthmarks? How'd you die?
I think mine is somewhere.
You
on
can
my
pull your
side.
pants down. You can show your butt on the
I don't
podcast.
really know. I think it's just somewhere on my side, but I just didn't feel like looking at my rolls of fat.
I got one. Oh god, right here,
Ooh, maybe
So I
you
think
got
I
like
died
stabbed through
like a
your
spear,
wiener and
through. It was both. Yeah, it was a two. It was a 2 for 1.
yeah. Or like I wonder if it's maybe some like disease or something could cause that
Yeah, I mean,
birthmark.
surely scientists who are in charge of understanding birthmarks know what causes them. But
Yeah.
like it's like melatonin,
melanin.
melanin. That's right.
Yeah.
Melanin is the skin one.
Yeah,
So maybe you just got a melanin on you.
a little bit of melanin.
Does the shape have anything? Like, does the shape, if it looks like a sword, you're murdered by a sword, or if it?
I'm not an expert, but I was
Tell me.
told.
Tell me.
This is purely just random conversation I have with people. But according to the random conversation, you got stabbed or something there is what people sometimes think maybe.
Have you had a near-death experience?
Dude, honestly, I've had so many that like they don't faze me anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Like there's other like things other than like getting almost hit by a car. One time I almost fell off a waterfall.
Well, they're called waterfalls.
Yeah, it's what
they're
you do.
They're not called Scotty Falls.
Yeah, that's where I got it confused.
You open up a theme park called Scotty Falls.
Scotty Falls, and it's just me like
a big ploy of you killing yourself.
Wow, imagine like you open this giant thing and it was like, I'm so excited, and you're like, everybody, I'm Scotty, and this is where Scotty falls, and they're like, what?
Like, I bid you all a very fond farewell.
So have you had any near-death experiences?
No. I've been trying to think of how to manufacture one.
A manufactured?
Yeah, I held my breath for like a minute once.
That's like close to suicide, I guess.
Dude, well, I would think like you would think, that monk that lit himself on fire.
Yeah.
To like, oppose things.
Yeah.
What if he literally was so one with his awareness that he wasn't in pain when that was happening. He was aware of the sensation that we call pain.
Yeah.
But, like he was just from an awareness standpoint. He's like, all I am is a being that happens to be feeling pain right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
And he just sat there and took it.
Yeah. And it was
could that man, if before he did that, I'm just like, hold your breath until you die.
That's
like, could you do it?
Yeah, because at a certain point, it's your unconscious like body like signals and stuff that start taking over.
Through heavy enough meditation, you can bypass your lymphatic system straight to the cortisol of your red blood tissue. I just said science words. I just said stupid things. But like, I think it's possible. So someone should get on that and let me know the results.
Is there any monks who are really pissed off who want to make a point? We'd like to know.
Or just for science.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did we just ask someone to kill themselves for science?
Science. Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite science experiment that you like morally cannot explore?
What do you mean?
Like there's one where it's like they actually did it. It's really fascinating. I saw it on a YouTube video.
On YouTube?
But like YouTube. Basically there's this moral conundrum, and it's like if you see a train going towards 5 people,
gotcha.
and then you can like hit a switch and it'll just hit one person, like it'll go onto another track and hit one person. Which do you choose? Mm-hmm. And a lot of like they actually put people through that scenario, and it was like all simulated, and it was like video, and it was like fake, but like people believed it.
Yeah, it was on Vsauce Minefield.
Yeah, it was so good. I was like that because that's a question I'd always wondered. But like, what other
passive?
What questions do you have?
Well, when it comes to ethics, it's so challenging because the psychological impacts are so hard to register and be accountable for, because you should be accountable for the psychological aspects of unethical
unless you're just a
stuff.
Psychopath.
Yeah, so like I think it comes down to if you have proper, psychotherapist or whatever training for people to get debriefings on and like have them not be left to their own devices after a traumatic event like that.
Yeah.
I think it could be ethical, but I don't know where the line stands. Like,
what would you, if you could have an experiment with no moral ramifications, what would that experiment be?
I mean, it'd probably be to give just everybody as much steroids as possible and have a super Olympics.
Just, find out what happens. Like, yeah, that guy's huge.
Yeah, because what if we inject lead into our veins? Do we become...
You die.
Do you know that for a fact, Scotty?
There's like a lot of scientific evidence that points towards it, but I don't...
Yeah, but how many have you done? I don't trust other science.
All right, Mr. Flat Earther. It's really fascinating, by the way. I've been really interested in subcultures and like small like communities that like you can witness, but like it like just no one really pays attention to, like the flat earthers and stuff like that.
Van dwellers.
The van dwellers.
Yeah.
Is that just people who live in vans?
Yeah. They dwell inside them.
Wow, that's pretty cool. But like, I watched this really fascinating. It started with me having a fever, and I was I was alone. Nobody knew I was sick, and I was super dehydrated and like kind of starving. But like, I felt sick every time I ate, so I wasn't eating.
I think everyone knows you're sick, Scotty.
Wow,
you're sick,
sick, and also had a fever. But like, I saw this crazy like documentary that this guy made on YouTube. It was like at least 45 minutes long, but it was about furries and the subculture and like how it was created.
I had a Furby as a kid.
Yeah, well, there
that I used to fuck. So
well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
So you're a furry. But like, it was just like interesting because it's like they started with like underground like comics that they were like making Xeroxes of and like mailing to people. Like it was like, and then like it's like there was these science fiction conventions and people started dressing up like furries and getting freaky. Nice. And then like people started doing tons of drugs and it like completely devolved. And then like with the internet, it just completely changed into all the, but like there's also all these people who are trying to keep it from being super sexual, but it kind of started as a very sexual like thing. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Are you coming out right now?
No, I actually have some friends that are furries though, and I found it fascinating. Anyway, so
whenever they like disappoint you, do you just like spray bottle them?
Like, yeah, I flick them on the nose actually.
You keep smelling your ass.
Yeah. I just rub their nose and like poop.
Whoa,
that's what you do. That's what you do to like a puppy.
That's what you tell yourself. They like it.
All right, that's my moral test that I would do.
Rub a furry face and poop.
Yeah, see if they like it.
I can not shave for a couple days and I'll have like a furry chin.
Whoa, you might be a furry.
Inside of my nose is furry.
Let me taste. What's
the difference between furry and hairy? And if there's no difference, then why do we have those two words?
Yeah, why? It's interesting, the redundancy. I feel like
furry's more fluffy, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's like shorter and more, and then hairy is longer and
sparse.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. Like, oh, you're hairy. Like, but like if you're furry, you're furry. Like, oh, yeah, you're furry.
Because you could have a furry chest.
Imagine if there was a furry who like he liked to be those like Mexican hairless dogs, like with just a little bit of hair, and he called himself a hairy.
I'm a what? You're a furry, Harry. I think we're gonna end on that note, fellas. Actually, let's end on a contemplative 2-minute sit where we try to stop breathing until we are done.
Okay. It's a deal. All right, I'm breathing.